The Joker card, the hidden card that makes people lose the game automatically. In Classroom Elite, Chie-sensei calls Ayanokoji Kiyotaka the Joker card to Chabashira, and that it's unfair. AKA, Kiyotaka is the hidden trump card. So how about we put the trump card of Classroom Elite against its verse? Does he do well overall? Does he completely stomp? Can any of them outsmart him? Verbal comprehension, one of the key traits to intelligence, is the body of knowledge and abilities acquired throughout our lives that enable us to cope with the majority of problems we encounter in everyday life. It largely involves those verbal skills that enable us to think and communicate. One of the best ways to improve your verbal comprehension is by reading books. Throughout the series, Ayanokoji has not only stated numerous quotes from books he's read, but also referenced various real-life books. These books include Farewell, My Love, Wuthering Heights, Crime and Punishment, and Demons. The authors are Emily Bront, Raymond Chandler, and Fyodor Dostoevsky. This isn't even the full list, as it would be quite long, and for the sake of the video I'll be keeping it short. There are other characters such as Horikita, Hiyori, and other White Room students who have also read their fair share, but it simply doesn't compare to Ayanokoji. Ayanokoji's knowledge just is stated to overall scale above any human in a lifetime worth of knowledge, randomly in Year 1, Volume 7. Ayanokoji also has a cognitive ability where his memory is so insane that it would be considered perfect, meaning all languages and so-called liberal arts, which are comprised of hundreds of subjects, he remembers in amazing detail. No characters in Classroom Elite can compare to this level of knowledge. No White Room students either. Ayanokoji is a freak anomaly in Japanese society, represented as the Joker card, as I said in the beginning of the video, for the one to pull for automatic wins, and the X factor, the unknown variable Ryuuen named him, which also had implications on how Ayanokoji actually is represented in the story. And for some other feats that I can just quickly reference, Year 2 Volume 7 Anagram, and for comprehension, Year 1 Volume 4 VIP Zodiac Pattern. Memory plays a key role in intelligence, specifically working memory. It is a component of intelligence that enables us to consciously process information. Its capacity is limited, making it a bottleneck of cognitive system. The more information we are able to process at the same time and the higher the speed at which we can do so, the more we can solve complex problems. Ayanokoji's best feat of working memory would be the flash mental arithmetic, or FMA. FMA is when numbers appear quickly and you have to add them all and input the result. In theory, Koji got this task in Year 1 Volume 11, and the last level of the special exam that had FMA as a task was 1.6 seconds, a total 3 digits number flashing 15 times. So Koji would have memorized and added the numbers in 1.6 seconds, which would be a working memory and processing speed feat. Konji and Airusu were also able to replicate the FMA feat, but not at the level of Ayanokoji, who was able to memorize and add numbers at incredible speed. Also, Ayanokoji has been able to hold 50 bits of information in his head at a young age, which include different shapes and types to remember. Also, his perfect memory would also play into this, as he can sort large amounts of information in one session. An individual's ability to process simple or visual information quickly and efficiently is another intelligence category, which is processing speed. It measures visual and motor speed. The feats regarding working memory would also count for processing speed, as visual and motor speed is involved when performing the FMA feat, along with his chess feats, which require extremely fast and fluid board visualizations, which would go into his next category, but also the chess feat when he was younger. If you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 20k by the end of the year. Make sure that you're subscribed. Thank you. The measure of visual perception is another intelligence category, aka the visual spatial index. This is the ability to analyze, encode, and mentally manipulate spatial forms. Researchers use tests such as block design or visual puzzle subtests to test one's visual spatial index. In Year 1 Volume 2, when Sakura showed the picture of her in the special annex room, which were Pseudo and the Class C students in the background fighting, the picture was pretty blurry in the background, since it was focused on Sakura. This was the only picture that had evidence of the fight. So first, Koji had to visualize where the fight happened exactly, and use the picture as a reference point. Then after visualizing where the fight happened, Koji would then have to place cameras at the exact location of the fight. After that, he would have to angle the cameras to where the fight happened and its blind spots, since they had to make it believable. He can mentally map out the surroundings and understand the layout of the environment, enabling him to plan and position cameras effectively. In Year 1 Volume 3, Koji fully memorized the map of the island and was able to make a rough sketch of it to make notes. He was also able to walk through the woods and would always know where to find the beach of Class D's camp due to the map in his head. When he found Horikita at a random position in the forest, he was able to visualize different pathways and locate his way to the teachers on the beach. Ayanokoji is able to orient himself on an island he had only seen once, knowing that he had no experience in the matter. He found precise points and places, found paths even though he had only seen the island for a short time, from very far away from the cruise ship. Ayanokoji's best display of visual spatial index, however, would be the chess feat of Year 1 Volume 11 and also his Volume 0 feat. Fluid Reasoning Index measures a general problem-solving ability that consists in extracting the underlying rules of a problem in the situation and then using them to solve the problem posed. It therefore involves implementing a chain of inductive and deductive reasoning. This is the general approach that allows human beings to tackle problems they may encounter for which they have no specific procedure acquired through experience or education. Ayanokoji in the White Room's best feats would be their overall experience in the White Room. This is because Ayanokoji went from a very average student to the best thing the White Room has ever produced. In Volume 0 of Classroom Elite, it's revealed that Ayanokoji can perfectly recall his entire life and memories and put them into words. He can also select and store memories he deems necessary. Research has shown that babies are capable of learning and remembering while they're still in the womb. However, it was previously believed that the ability to learn during infancy is very unripe and unstable, and their memories cannot be fixed. Alternatively, the memories are stored, but as they develop, they also are buried in the depths and cannot be retrieved. It was also thought to be one or the other. Koji can retrieve his memories even from infancy without difficulty. This gives him a memory advantage of many years, and is also related to his overwhelming learning ability. His extensive knowledge base allows him to approach problems and challenges from multiple angles, drawing from a vast pool of information. With such a deep well of knowledge, Koji is able to come up with many creative and innovative solutions to complex problems. A good example would be Ichika stating in Year 2 Volume 4 that the curriculum that Ayanokoji took when he was only 10 years old included systems theory based on Project 5, and that at the age of 11 it was the theory of relativity based on Project 7. General relativity is taught to students who major in physics in their 4th year of bachelor's degree, or their freshman year of master's degree. Based on this, Ayanokoji's fluid reasoning is not only very insane, but also is incredibly fast. Also, his genius adaptability, which has been shown to play into effect into simple things like sports, or important things like his education and self-improvement, which goes into kinesthetic and overall cognitive ability. He also has a potential novel reasoning feat regarding Otsuyomi, however, I won't mention it just yet. Using your emotions to complete cognitive tasks, problem solving, and being able to change and maintain moods that will help fulfill a task, aka emotional engagement. A feat for Ayanokoji and the rest of the White Room students like Yagami and Ichika would be enduring the White Room. The White Room, although designed to raise geniuses, is still a harsh environment nonetheless. The curriculum, depending on the generation, is fast-paced and does not slow down for any student. You have to adapt and keep pace, or else you will be left behind and expelled. The tests are so taxing on the students' mental health that it's caused them to literally vomit or even menstruate due to stress. Ayanokoji's curriculum, which was known as the Beta, 4th generation, was the hardest. The researchers of the White Room concluded that the level 5 or 6 curriculum was the human limit, and Ayanokoji was given one that's at least twice the recommended level. Ayanokoji, at a very young age, was able to control his emotions, as when he was less than 2 years old he started to cry and cried, but then he realized that nobody was coming to save him. He stopped crying and felt cold. Ayanokoji's control of his emotions support him in his ability to easily observe his surroundings or complete tasks without panicking, whether it be in the White Room or in Advanced Nurturing High School. Regulating and facilitating emotions in oneself and others to achieve goals, aka emotional management. Ayanokoji is well known for putting on the facade of an average student who was previously perceived by Horikita to dislike trouble. Because of this, almost all of the Advanced Nurturing High School students regularly underestimate and disregard Ayanokoji despite him hiding his abilities. According to Chabashira, Horikita had already fell into a trap that Koji laid out, which is related to her way of thinking about him. Chabashira perceived Koji as a higher functioning product that is difficult to handle and destroy the class in short order if misunderstood how to handle him. Even after Chabashira explained that to her, Horikita still had a lot of doubts. Koji uses people's perception that they have on him to manipulate them. Ayanokoji is so good at managing his emotions that Kushida, someone who admitted that while she was confident in reading other people's aura and understanding what they are thinking, like about Ryuuen or Horikita, she's not able to get a read on Ayanokoji. Even if she might think she has an idea, it was proved to be completely wrong. Ayanokoji has yet even been shown to really break his composure yet. Emotional understanding. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. Ayanokoji also has some nice feats in emotional understanding, such as carefully planning and waiting for the right moment to approach Karuizawa, and her current vulnerability to psychologically manipulate and intimidate her. He exposes her history of being bullied and her fake relationship with Hirata, using it to gain control over her and make her comply with his demands. Ayanokoji accurately assesses Karuizawa's fears and weaknesses, such as her fear of being seen as a victim and her desire to protect her social standing. He exploits these emotions to ensure her cooperation and silence. In Year 1, Volume 11.5, Koji provides a shrewd assessment on Ryuen's behavior, criticizing his underhanded tactics while acknowledging the strategic value of using various approaches to win. He analyzes Ryuen's behavior in relation to the potential that Koji sees in him. Koji speaks with a firm and assertive tone, emphasizing the importance of avoiding actions that could easily be traced back to Ryuen. His clear communication style commands attention and establishes his authority in the conversation. Koji reveals that he knows about Ryuen's use of laxatives, demonstrating his access to insider information and his ability to uncover hidden clues. This revelation surprises Ryuen and reinforces Koji's reputation as someone with knowledge and influence. Ayanokoji also highlights the potential consequences of Ryuen's actions, explaining how preserving leftover food and drinks could have led to his expulsion. Ayanokoji challenges Ryuen's confidence in his plans by pointing out the risk associated with relying solely on Ichinosei's behavior. He exposes the flaw in Ryuen's assumption, underscoring his own superior strategic mindset. Koji subtly challenges Ryuen's ego by suggesting that he is being naive in his approach and that he, Koji himself, would have done better. This manipulation serves to undermine Ryuen's confidence and provoke a reaction that reveals his vulnerabilities. Ryuen's path wasn't bad, but Koji realized his shortcomings, in which his lack of protection plays a big role. Koji forces him to understand that and to significantly improve himself. In the very same volume, Koji accurately assesses Horikita's situation and emotions. He challenges her assertion that she's satisfied after reconciling with her brother, highlighting the complexity of human emotions and the difficulty of achieving complete satisfaction. Ayanokoji probes Horikita's emotions by asking her if she's ever felt the need to cry when sad. His questions are aimed at understanding her feelings and vulnerabilities. Ayanokoji subtly chips away at Horikita's emotional defenses, reminding her of the challenging moments she's faced and suggesting that it's okay to cry. Ayanokoji, understanding Horikita's inner turmoil and his empathy, create a connection between them. He acknowledges her loneliness and validates her emotions, encouraging her to express them. Ayanokoji's approach leads to Horikita breaking down emotionally and finally letting her guard down. She openly cries and expresses her pain. Ayanokoji has basically been shown to be pretty adept in emotional understanding. The ability to accurately identify emotions in oneself and others. It involves recognizing emotions through facial expressions, body language, vocal cues, and other nonverbal cues, as well as understanding the emotional states of individuals based on their behavior and context, aka emotional perception. Ayanokoji has feats in emotional perception, such as perceiving the slightest disturbances in Hirata's voice and tone and the emotional changes throughout their conversation about the exam where one person is guaranteed to get expelled. Although the other students don't perceive it, Koji can see slight hints of anger in Hirata leaking out. When Koenji talked to him, Hirata started showing not only concern but also expressions of mild threats. Koji can exactly comprehend the meaning behind Hirata's words, his changing of emotional state, his struggle, how he thinks, and how he perceives the words of others. Ayanokoji also noticed there was something wrong with Kei's behavior when confronted by Manabe, as she usually was proud and unwavering, but started to cower in fear due to bullying. Intrapersonal intelligence refers to having a deep understanding of the self, what one's strengths or weaknesses are, what makes one unique, being able to predict one's own reactions or emotions. In Year 2, Volume 4.5, Ayanokoji demonstrates his ability to remain calm and composed, even in situations where he is being observed or questioned. Tsukishiro is addressing Ayanokoji's seemingly nonchalant behavior, despite being caught doing something that might be against the rules. Tsukishiro notes that Ayanokoji didn't show any emotional unrest in his musical performance while playing piano, even though he was aware of Tsukishiro's presence from the moment he started watching him and Shabashiro. Interpersonal intelligence refers to the ability of a person to relate well with people and manage relationships. It enables people to understand the needs and motivations of those around them, which helps strengthen their overall influence. In Volume 2, when Ichinose randomly asks if someone has ever confessed to Ayanokoji, he instantly predicts that someone confessed to her because of her worried look. Then, when she asks him to spare a little time after class and helps her with questions about confessing, Ayanokoji deduces that has something to do with him and considers the possibility of her making up a lie. When Ichinose struggles to confess to Chihiro, Ayanokoji places himself in her perspective and explains the confessing of feelings isn't easy to do and describes the feeling of constantly thinking about confessing, but being able to actually say the words. He suggests that if someone is in the situation, it's important to try to answer the other person's feelings rather than leaving the situation unclear. If both people are unsure about the other's feelings, it can lead to regret later on. Essentially, Ayanokoji is saying that it's better to be honest and clear about your feelings, even if it's difficult to do so. He deduced that Ichinose is struggling because no one has ever confessed to her before, and even though she tries to make an excuse not to hurt the other person, a lie would hurt Chihiro more. In volume 11.5, Koji is navigating a conversation between Ichinose and Horikita about their class's performance against Class A in a competition. Ayanokoji had previously given contradictory information to both Ichinose and Horikita about the reasons for choosing to face Class A. He told Ichinose that Horikita wanted to fight Class A, and Horikita believed they had no choice after losing a draw. He manages the conversation by controlling the flow of information and preventing any potential suspicious or inconsistencies from arising. Koji adeptly handles the change in conversation initiated by Ichinose's praise for his class's performance against Class A. He redirects the discussion away from his own desire to fight Class A, avoiding revealing his true intentions. Ayanokoji deliberately reveals his intentions to fight Class A by making an offhanded comment by exposing part of his plan. He tests Horikita's ability to adapt and understand the situation without directly communicating his intentions, which he carefully observes Horikita's brief gaze and understands that she chooses not to question his statement openly. This suggests Horikita has grown in her ability to understand and adapt to Koji's strategies without revealing their true intentions. He recognizes her growth and is able to use it to their advantage in manipulating the situation and avoiding suspicion. Knowledge. The answer to this one is rather obvious, but the White Room is an environment dedicated to nurturing geniuses. Everything from sleep habits to the curriculum was planned years in advance before it started. Ayanokoji's knowledge is vast in subjects like mathematics, where he's stated to have knowledge in Lebesgue integrals and the theory of measurement, which are college-level subjects. Ayanokoji is also familiar with the theory of relativity, human anatomy, due to his correct analysis of the human body when he goes against Albert and notes to aim for his solar plexus, psychology due to his knowledge of the milligram experiment as well as his entire plan to manipulate K to be on his side, and it's pretty obvious he knows a lot of psychology, and humanities for his extensive knowledge of books. And of course, liberal arts, which has various subsubjects, which has psychology and social sciences in it. The White Room is an environment like no other, that has levels ranging from 1 to the beta curriculum. The beta curriculum / the 4th generation, which is what Ayanokoji was a part of, and he was able to survive and adapt. The human limit was stated to be level 5, which is curriculum that the 5th generation students of the White Room did, / Takuya and Ichigo. In terms of strategy, Ayanokoji is no slacker, as this is his arguably best strategies. It involves the love letter strategy of Year 2 Volume 7, and probably his best in the X arc in Year 1. I'll go over that in another video. It's a common misconception that Ayanokoji has terrible social skills. As of the latest volume, he stated he has started to slowly improve his social skills by having Kei as his girlfriend. But prior to that, he showcased his aptitude for social skills in Year 2 Volume 5. Throughout his confrontation with Kushida, he articulates his thoughts and observations clearly, ensuring that his message is conveyed accurately. By expressing himself confidently, Ayanokoji gains the attention of his classmates, allowing them to understand his perspective and consider his claims seriously. His ability to manage his own feelings enables him to approach the situation objectively and empathize with others involved. He demonstrates empathy by understanding the emotions and motivations of his classmates, including Kushida. He accurately assesses Kushida's behavior and manipulative tactics, realizing that she presents herself as a kind person while hiding her true nature. He effectively analyzes the situation and predicts the reactions of others, allowing him to corner Kushida's attempts to discredit in his category, as thanks to his understanding of psychology and human nature, he's able to read and understand people so well that he can exploit them in any way he sees fit to further his own interests, strategies, or plans. Ayanokoji, as stated above in his many strategies and plans, is insane in terms of outsmarting, one of his most notable being his entire fight against Ryuuen and the plan he revealed during the climax of Hunt for X arc, which will be expanded on soon. The plan that he formed to defeat Ryuuen spanned from Volume 4 to Volume 7, and the actual foreshadowing of the fight and everything involved goes from Volumes 2 to Volume 7. And the readers don't even know this until it's revealed by Ayanokoji himself. All the times that his classmates were worrying about Ryuuen or Horikita, constantly pressing Ayanokoji for what he would do against Ryuuen, was for naught, as the battle was over before it even began. Ryuuen plays right into Ayanokoji's palm, which Ryuuen was unaware about until Ayanokoji tells him. So yeah, Ayanokoji pretty clearly is above his verse. However, the other characters are still great in their own regard, and soon we will look over them all.